Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto and his clan was betrayed by Konoha. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had his father intelligence and his mother's here, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy over an Anime King. And also I post a brand new episode over Anime Prince of What If Naruto sealed Kaguya inside himself and trained for 6,000 years, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, yes, 4 channels link in the description. Don't forget to turn on the bell notifications so you can see exactly when and what I post guys. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this new episode begin now guys? So, the last part that we left off. 3 long years has passed since the attack on Konoha. A lot has changed in that 3-year time span. Jiraiya had no luck finding any location anywhere accountable to the Crimson Reapers, Naruto, or anything regarding any of them. The Hidden Leaf had lost a lot. Yes, and they were now in fear of, well, that man that almost killed their Hokage. To this day, the spiral on Hirson's forehead would not be removed. It was stuck there, a scar, a permanent reminder of his death that will come one day. And it seems that nothing would be able to stop that at all. Although a lot has changed in the Hidden Leaf. For one, because he knew that he needed help, Harrison allowed Danzo to step into more political matters. For one thing, Root was now back on the markets, officially a part of Konoha once again. And for another thing as well, the children of the academy who were lack and slacking in their, well, development has been put to ridiculous degrees. Yes, the training has been intensified to a ridiculous state. Even people like Sakura Runo had to give up on her dream of becoming a ninja. There wasn't much that she wanted to do regarding being a ninja because the reason why she mostly joined was because of Sasuke, but now, well, she failed the advancement tests to see if she was, well, worthy of moving on in her studies or going back to the academy to learn how to get better. And she decided to give up. Now she was working with her parents as a normal civilian. Yes, a lot of change. As the training has been increased, Konoha was on the verge of a war that they had no idea when it would come. The past 3 years have been quiet, but they knew. Well, Harrison knew that the attack would come again. He saw the look in those eyes. Eyes that were able to cast and do things that was frightening to him. So he knew, if they did not prepare themselves, if they did not get ready, Konoha would burn. And Harrison wanted to try his best to avoid that. By now, the declaration that Snether was dead was out there everywhere. She has not been seen since she was attacked by the red hair individual. That is what Jiraiya got at the bar. And since then, it has been nothing but silence. So Jiraiya knew that she was most likely dead, as Harrison confirmed it as well. There was no way that she would be able to avoid Jiraiya for 3 years with him really searching for her. So yeah, the chance of her being dead was great. And that had sent the two into a spiral as well, making Konoha more fearsome. It's been a long time since the village has been on this edge. The sand was even now subjugated under the Hidden Leaf. Danzo and Hiruzen had spoken to the Wind Advisor of the Sand, and things did not end well. The Sand was now under the ruling of the Hidden Leaf. That was how far Hiruzen was willing to go to make sure The Hidden Leaf survived. The Sand now report to Konoha, yes, they were living and carrying on with their days, but they report to the Hidden Leaf now. Even Taki was recently hit, and their Jinchuriki was taken and no one knew. What happened to her? However, Jiraiya knew who was responsible. Root ninjas were behind the attack. Danzo made a move. The Hidden Leaf needed Jinchuriki. That is what he said. We had then skipped to a monumental fight going on. The fight was between the Jinchurikis of the stone versus two individuals. Those being Mito Uzumaki, the other one being Sasuke Uchiha. The both of them had grown a lot in the past couple of years. And Sasuke even possessed the Mangekyo Sharingan. There was a reason behind that though, as Mito and Sasuke took on the Tail Beasts and they were able to take them down during their combination and not to mention their special ability. Sasuke with his eyes and Mito with their chains, they brought them down. As Naruto reappeared, he told them all of their, well, mistakes in that battle that they will have to work on. His training was ruthless. He made sure that they were ready for the field. Naruto and the others did not want the other kids to commence in what they were doing, but these, Mito, Sasuke, and Gara, they wanted to help. And if they were going to help, their training process had to begin. And it was something that, well, it brought them down mentally and physically, but it built them back up powerfully. But before they could leave though, Oniki and a group of ninjas arrived on the scene. They tried to stop them, but Naruto raised a hand. Everyone was sent sailing by a gravitational force, blowing them all away. As the two Jinchurikis were picked up and everyone was gone, Oniki was furious by that. As he quickly returned back to his office, he never thought that this would affect him now. Things were getting out of hand. We got back to the secret location as Naruto, eyes were closed, were holding his hand over the heads of the Jinchurikis. Behind him, Hanako was watching him. Things had progressed between them good in the past couple of years. However, they decided not to do anything until they finally got what they wanted in this world. The both of them making a promise about that. As for Sasuke, some time ago Naruto had found Itachi. Kisame had been humiliated, yes, badly. As it was only luck that he did not die. As Naruto had taken Itachi to meet his brother, and they had fought. A battle had ended with Sasuke begging Itachi to tell him why. And Itachi broke, telling his brother why. Maybe it was the situation, maybe it was everything that was going to commence after he died, but he knew that if he did not tell his brother right here and now, the mental scar that he would leave on him would just be forever. The battle was full of emotion and rage. A lot of twisting sadness, hate, sorrow. And the end of it all, Sasuke awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan, granting him further power. The body of Itachi was taken away. The Akatsuki had a meeting about this recently, but yet there has been no indication of where the Crimson Reapers, the leader of this organization, was, who was going around going after the other tail beasts. The Akatsuki was stunned at the moment, not having any idea on what to do. However, they knew that they had to make a move. As for normal factors at the village, Gara had a little crush on Mito, and Sasuke and the others were encouraging him to go ahead and say something about it. However, while that was going on in the safety of their home, the outside world was brewing badly. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the play check of yourself so to begin this new episode guys. So let's jump right into it. It was currently late in the night. Shibuki, leader of Tokyo, was still in the office, going over a few things, finalizing a few things. Many people here hated the girl that once had the tail beast. Her name was Fu. He was saying once because she was no longer with them. He had no idea if she was dead or alive, but she was taken. Shibuki was one of the few that didn't hate her though, as she was just a girl that was trying to live normally. However, circumstances placed her in this situation and she could not get away from it without death. As Shibuki still didn't understand what happened that night. The only thing they were able to recall was whoever took her was some kind of envoys. There was one survivor, yes, one lone survivor, who had been rushed to the hospital. His throat had been slashed. However, sheer luck he had survived. And they found out what he saw. Man in full black, wearing masks that the description was something that he has never seen before. He wasn't familiar with those masks on Root Ninja's face. As he looked towards, moving a few papers as he saw the description, to this day he still had no idea who was the one that took Fu. It made Taki look weak as well. That a group of people could just enter and take their Jinchuriki away like it was nothing, and they couldn't do anything about it. The villagers already saw Taki as a weak nation, despite them possessing a tail beast, and this just went to confirm it. However, the San was in a worse situation than Taki right now. No one could believe when they found out that Hiruzen Sarutobi took control over the Hidden San. No Kage has been placed in the position. There will be none. The only thing they knew was that their village was being controlled. The council was still a thing. They were the ones running the day to day. However, Konoha was the true controller of the village. All of the hair in the back of Shibuki's neck stood up as he felt a sensation wash over him. "Don't move," the voice said, before he could move a single muscle. Shibuki's body froze up, believing that if he did move, there was a high chance that he would die immediately. "Who are you?" he said. "How did you get in here?" "That's not important. Answer my question without fault, and there will be no problem. Do you understand me?" Shibuki slowly nodded his head, wondering what this individual wants. "Your village was attacked recently. The 7th Jinchuriki was kidnapped. Was anyone able to see the assailants? Or identify any of them? Any description?" Shibuki's mind was wondering why this individual wanted that kind of information. Did he want Fu for himself? There was a good chance that Fu had been killed, as there was a chance that whoever took her had removed the beast somehow, he believed, and stored it somewhere else. He had known Fu for a long time now. Her mentality was here at Taki. However, she did notice the resentment and the hate, but she didn't have anywhere else to go, knowing that Jinchurikis were a rare oddity out in the world, and people would hunt her. However, he doubted that she would fight for another nation. She would prefer death. Having to go through another subjugation, to be used, to be hated, she would not go with that. The problem was Shibuki could feel that this man behind him had the intent to kill him and everyone else within this village to get this information. He did not know who this man was, but Shibuki has never felt fear in his life like this before. Raising his hand, despite that the man did not move, was he that confident to strike him down even if he had time to form hand signs? Shibuki lifted up the paper. "This is what we were able to get." The paper was removed from Shibuki's hand. After 3 seconds, there was nothing that could be heard. Shibuki was about to turn, as the sensation vanished. Turning, Shibuki saw there was no one there at all. He quickly jumped out of his chair, quickly called out for his ninjas, but he didn't hear a damn thing. Rushing towards the door and opening it, he saw all of his men unconscious outside. After checking their pulse, he realized they were unconscious, yes. Just who was that? He thought to himself. Time skip. Outside of Taki, beyond the waterfall, someone hopped up to a tree. As the person removed the hood from his head, to show that it was none other than Natsu himself. Natsu opened the paper as he looked over it. Their suspicion was right. Konoha, he thought to himself. With that, he blurred away. The next morning at Kumo, the Raikage received an urgent message from the stone. The stone and Kumo never fought each other. Throughout the recent wars, they were always against Konoha, but they were never true allies. They had a ceasefire, where the other didn't attack the other, but they were never true allies. No trading, nothing too close. However, the Raikage was still surprised he got this message from Oniki. But one word, one single word on that paper, caused him to feel a jolt of fear. In the past, he was a part of the assault on the village. He was much younger back then. The Uzumakis. Despite having them outnumbered 3-1, Kiri, Kumo, the stone, somehow the Uzumakis were able to wipe out half of their forces in a few hours. If it was not for them bombing them from the outside with their tail pieces, there was a good chance that they would have lost. Even with the information that they gathered from, well, the third Hokage back then. The man was willing to sell the Uzumakis out to make sure that Konoha go through this war without any more casualties. At the time, they did not care. They accepted his proposal. The Uzumakis were too strong and everyone knew that, possessing sealing techniques that could shut down a Jinchuriki in seconds, stopping TL beasts, disarming armies. That is why they were so feared. So when the opportunity came for them to attack, they jumped at it. The Mizukage had been killed in the attack. Many fine warriors had been brought to their knees and slaughtered, but in the end, they wiped out the Uzumakis. But the thing that was still on his mind was the words from the Den clan head. The man swore to them that the Uzumakis would not fall, that they would recover and seek vengeance upon those who took everything away from them. But then, it was just the words of a dying man, so everyone dismissed him as he was killed. But to get these words right here and now, A eyes went wide in shock as you remember. The one that took Yujito away, the one that came to their rescue, the right here, a common trait of the Uzumakis. He remembered the recent attack on Konoha. The rumors were that there was someone else aside from Orochimaru that joined in. Someone else that inflicted mortal wounds on the Hokage and left him alive because he see fit to do so. Now it was all coming together. Now it was all making sense. Meanwhile, at Kiri had recovered somewhat after their recent civil war, and they had gotten back up to snuff. However, fear swept through her as she looked over this. Mei Terumi, the now leader of the village, promising powerful kunoichi. She just wanted her village to be kept safe in these joyous times. However, their past was coming back to haunt them. Everyone knew about the massacre upon the Uzumakis. Everyone knew about the slaughteration of the clan. Children, innocents were killed because they possessed too much strength. And now, that was coming back to bite them. Of all the people she expected letters from, she never expected one from Oniki. The Tsuchikage. She never knew that it was this bad. Immediately, she raised her hand. As an envoy appeared in her room, she turned her gaze towards the man. "Get me the head of the Hunter Corps." The man nodded as he quickly went away. The efforts on finding Utakata had to be tripled. There has still been no signs of the recovery of the three tails, and the time period has long passed. They had estimated that the Bijou chakra should have been recovered by now, but still, nothing. Something was up. As Mei feared the worst. Time skip. A sand ninja, known as Baki, he was once the right-hand man of the Kazakage. However now, the sand had become a sham of its former self. A puppet, a pawn, to be used by the Hokage and his advisor. Baki hated that. He despised it terribly. His village was being used and coddled. Resources, manpower. However, there was nothing at all they could do about it. If they decided to fight against Aiden Leaf right now, the threat had already been made. They would be erased. And they do not possess anything close to enough power to stop them from doing so. However, Baki received a message. Someone out there was offering them help. Usually, he would scoff at this proclamation from anyone, disregarding it without even a second thought. However, things have changed. He would do whatever it takes to get the sand back under the control of the rightful owners. And he needed the help. He did not know who this person was. However, he had received two messages now. There was a chance that he might be coming out here to die. Yes, there was a good chance about that. However, it was better than being controlled by Konoha anymore. He couldn't stand it. Being a proud Sand Shinobi, he was not the only one that was having it hard, being controlled by the Hidden Leaf, used as pawns and puppets on missions. The Wind Daimyo, no one can do a damn about it. Arriving towards a specified location, the place was empty. He had made sure that he was not followed. Even their trips out of the village for their missions had been recorded by the Hidden Leaf. They were just flaunting their control over them, to show them that they could not do a damn thing about it. So Baki waited, as he realized that this was probably some kind of hoax, some kind of trick. He even think that Konoha might be doing this to test his loyalty. So there was a chance that he might die today, but as he said before, as a proud Sand Shinobi, he could not stand for it anymore. So if death was coming, he would fight with his last breath. As he waited, that is when he noticed someone, a man, strolling towards him in all black. He could not see the man's features, only the silhouettes. As when the man was a few feet away from him, Baki felt a sudden jolt. His eyes rolled back in his head as he collapsed. Snapping his eyes open, Baki looked around, confused where he was. He had absolutely no idea. Glancing to left and right, there was nothing to see. He was in a white, empty room. The place was extremely white. As he squinted his eyes, wondering what was going on, there was nothing that he could see. He was sitting in a chair. Looking down, his hands were not bound. He was not restrained. Just what was going on? Ah, you're awake. His head snapped aside, confused. He could swear that no one was in the room, but his eyes widened in shock as he saw someone that he thought he would never ever see again. Gara? There was no mistaking it. Those eyes. That face. The kanji on his forehead. Gara, he said. Baki, it's been a while, Gara said. How? You're alive? Yes, I'm alive, said Gara. But I thought you were dead. We all thought you were dead after the invasion. You just vanished. A lot of things happened back then, Gara said. Certain things you will not be told, but certain things will be explained to you. It seems that the sand has fallen on hard times. Hard times, Baki said. To the villagers, it might look like everything is under control, but for us shinobis, the council, it is hell. What happened to you, Gara? Where were you taken? Who kidnapped you? Or did you run away? Gara looked around, not looking back in the eyes. Things will be explained to you soon. As Gara started to walk out, wait, Baki said. You seem different. Happier, he said. Yes, I am happier. Now you wait here. He will be here soon. He? Who is he? You have been conversing with someone. It's a good thing you decided to make a leap of faith, otherwise there would have been no recovery for the sand. The way you say that, it's like you don't hear. I don't, said Gara. Unfortunately, the one that you once knew, that psychopathic, chaotic child is no more. I've started over. Chosen a different path. My link to my former home, there is no longer any buts. The sand has a role to play in the new world that is coming. The new world? What are you talking about? It will all be explained to you soon. As Gara left, Baki would have gone after him, but he just felt a strange sensation that he should not leave this room. He didn't know why, but he just could not find it within himself to actually get up and walk through that door over there. Why? Was it fear? Was he cautious about something to think that something would happen to him if he stepped outside the door? No. It was actually fear. But what was he afraid of? There was just this raw sensation that stopped him from literally making a single move towards that door. Why, damn it, he thought to himself. His mind screaming at him to move forward, but his body just would not listen. His body it just did not listen to him. Baki would have jumped right out of his skin. However, he had more self-control than that. As he heard the voice spoke up, "I'm glad that you decided to listen to my letters." As Baki slowly turned, there was no one there a moment ago, he was sure of that. So where did this person come from? Baki could not see the person's face, which made absolutely no sense. All he could see was a strange red hallucination. Confused. As Baki had to rub his eyes, when he opened them, he had to brace himself against a wall, as a person was now in front of him, sitting down in a chair. "Who are you?" he said. He had never felt fear like this before. He didn't know why, but just standing in this person's presence was causing him to shake. "Calm yourself." Those two single words caused himself to relax, like he was being controlled. His body went rigid. His heart started slowly decreasing its speed. How are you? Are you controlling me?" said Baki, his tone calm and steady. "No," said Naruto as he looked towards the man in front of him. "However, you do realize the situation that you're in. The feeling of death creeping up against your soul. I have that effect on people when I remove my glasses." As Baki looked at those eyes, as he looked away in fright, was this a domination thing, he wondered? Did he fear this person that much that he couldn't even look him in the eyes? "I want you to see who I really am. The man that you're about to make a deal with. Look at me." Baki had no choice but to look up into those eyes, as he gulped, gulping down the thick knot that formed in his throat. So you're the one that sent me that message?" "Yes, I was. The sand has fallen on hard times. Before we go on about that, tell me something. Do you know the word Uzumaki?" Baki tried to rack his brain, trying to find out what that... It snapped into his head. Yes. If I remember correctly, it was a clan. I don't know much about it, but it was wiped out a long time ago. What does that have to do with..." He paused. "You're here. I was told that the members of those clans mostly had red hair. You're one of them, aren't you?" "Yes, correct." "Good. Understanding quickly will allow this to move much faster. Now listen to me. Some time ago, the nations all pulled their forces together to erase the Uzumakis and what they were completely, killing innocents, people that did not deserve to die for no particular reason than their fear or restraint. The Sand is in a predicament, not similar but perhaps even worse. Your people, while the civilians act normal, yes, they might be worried about their village being controlled, but they do not really know the truth that you shinobis hide from them. Konoha is taking profits from all your mission margins. Konoha is taking your land. Konoha is using your fields. They're taking over little by little. Soon enough, there won't be anything left for you, Sand Shinobis. Soon enough, they will start to use you, send you off into suicide missions, until you slowly wither out and die. And once that is done, the only thing that will remain is Konoha owning the sand completely. No more defiance. Not that there was in the first place. Baki clenched his fists. However, he released it a second later. He was right. We do not possess the power. We do not possess anything to fight them. And if we do go up against them right now, everyone will die. So it's in the best interest that we just succumb to the situation that we're in. We can't stop them. Yes, I know. The village has fallen on hard times. Your shinobis are not strong enough. However, that is where I come in. You see, Baki, I see something different. Baki did not think that this person knew his name, but he did. Seemed like the person has been watching him, given how much information he knew. This world will be changing under my leadership. This world will come to a complete stop. What is a shinobi? War, chaos, fighting, everything. It will all come to a complete stop. And in order to make sure that the Sand live through all of this, you and your remaining council head members has to bow your allegiance to the Uzumakis and myself in order to survive. Baki slammed his fist in the wall. So that's it. You expect me to be used by someone else and just go on to be used by you. So that's why you called me here, to offer your strength so that you can take over once. We deal with the leaf, that is if we even win. Because if we lose, we'll be the one that is going to be suffering. Tuh, I'll pass, Baki said, seemingly forgotten his fear that he had a moment ago. You misunderstand me. Baki shut his mouth hearing that voice. Spoke up once again, as a sensation of fear came back. You think I am some knight in shining armor, here to save you. You are wrong, said Naruto, as he slowly got up. You see, said Naruto as he slowly started to approach him. Baki started to sweat. I am so far from that it's laughable. You want to know what will happen to the sand if you do not listen to my words right here and now. Baki found himself in a strange place. The village. Scream, death, chaos. He snapped back into reality. What was that? He said. A glimpse of the future. You can see the future? Said Baki in complete shock. Those eyes of yours. I've heard stories, histories, books. Those markings. Markings of a god. They're the Rinnegan, aren't they? Said Baki, hearing the tales and seeing description in books. Ah, you're well informed. Yes, my eyes are the Rinnegan. They weren't supposed to look like that, Baki said. Well, mine is kind of an upgrade, said Naruto. Now listen to me, he said, place the hand on his shoulder. I'm not here to offer my services for free. The world as you see it will be changing from this point on, and scrapping and tearing apart. However, if the Sand decides to change its perspective and bow their leadership to us, the benefits that they're receiving from Konoha now will be much greater than the rest of the world. Trust me. The same pain and suffering that the rest of the world will be feeling when we do enact our plan, the Sand will also be in the right center of it. There will be less than quarter of the population left when we're done. So, I'm gonna give you a few minutes. Minutes? Said Baki. Yes. You see, I'm not in the mood for wasting much of my time. If you decide to refuse my offer, every information that you receive here today will be stripped of you. If you decide to tell anyone else about this without my consent as you walk through those doors, if you try to lie, you will die before you even open your mouth. Baki swallowed thickly. So think. Think what I've just told you. I will return, and then you will tell me your truth. Naruto glanced at his eyes once more. Baki shuddered as he saw the world on fire once again. He started to sweat as he felt bile rise up in his throat. And then the man was gone. He was just gone. Baki looked around the white room as he felt like he was a child smushed under a mountain of a weight. He didn't know what to do. What should he do? What should he pick? This person was not a savior. This person had his own agenda. This person had his own goal. He was not here to save the hidden Sand, but align with him would cause the Sand to get much better treatment than what they're going through right now. Because in no time Konoha would do exactly what the man just said. and the sand would cease to exist, but at least align with him will cause the sand to be at a standing once this all commenced. As he took several deep breaths, the council would want to hear about this. Most of them would agree without hesitation, knowing that Konoha was gonna eviscerate them soon enough, leaving nothing but the total subjugation of the village under their might. He had to make a choice. Time skip at Konoha, deep underground in the village. A girl stood as around her was several bodies. Several bodies. Some of them either dead or some of them unconscious. You have truly grown in your ruthfulness. No longer hesitating. No longer having sympathy because of emotions. I'm impressed. In front of her was no longer the Warhawk, Danzo's Chimera. I thought you would have been a disappointment for much longer, but you are proving to be quick on the assessments. So tell me, what is your purpose? To live, fight for Konoha, to bleed, and to die for Konoha. To do whatever it takes to make sure Konoha stands at number one. Whatever it takes. Good. Return to your resting quarters. Allow your body time to rest. I will call for you the next time your training must begin. Understood, master. She walked away without a second thought. Waving his hand, other root ninjas came and took up the ones that were dead. As Danzo had a smile on his face. Going after this girl was the best idea. Finally, a Jinchuriki fully under his control. She was a Jinchuriki, so they could not place any seal on her, like he did with his other root agents. They were not strong enough to cause her to be loyal, so Danzo had to go with the old-fashioned way, mentally breaking her mind. It took hours upon hours for days, mentally breaking her down, destroying her nervous system inside and out. Physical pain to show that she has to be loyal or else the pain did not stop. Pain, suffering. She was stitched, cut, torn. The mental trauma that went on her shattered her mind. And once it was shattered, Danzo was able to mold it into something that he could control. And now this girl was loyal to him. Completely. For once, Danzo did not have any thoughts about trying to take leadership of the village. Because Hiruzen and him were seen eye to eye. They both want the same thing because Hiruzen had even seen that it was only right for them to go against the Sand. Granted, that was not all Hiruzen alone. Danzo was a part of it. Hiruzen's mind was trained to do whatever it takes to make Konoha survive. However, taking over complete ownership of the Sand was something that even caused him to hesitate, so Danzo placed some suggestions here and there, using a very powerful tool that he had at his disposal, that being the Kodomatsukami. Yes, it did not take much because Hiruzen's mind was already programmed to do whatever it takes. He just needed a tiny nudge in the right direction. So Danzo stopped using it, because Hiruzen's mind already came up with the same idea to do what he did for making the Leaf survive. The mark in his forehead was a reminder each day of what is to come. A reminder that they were never truly safe. Yes, and they all knew that. They were never truly safe. Meanwhile, Fu returned back to her room. As she just lay in her bed and closed her eyes. Inside of her mindscape, the girl could be seen crying. Yes, she was. However, Fu's mind was currently split, if you could say that. It was the beast inside of her, Komi. Lucky 7. He was like other tailed beasts, not having much love for his container, but this girl was... Fu was... well, she got to him over time. However, that didn't mean that they were close or chums or anything. However, he was not one to be controlled by outside sources either. as he was already stuck in her. So he wanted to do something about it, that is why he created a mental block, allowing a part of the girl's mind to retain what it did. The food that killed, the food that served without hesitation was just a broken shell that was empty, devoid of emotions, which make her more deadly and difficult to handle. However, the one that he pulled away inside here has been here the entire time, just a shell of herself, incomplete with the other path. That was the shell and she was the emotions. Looking up, I can't do this anymore. She was still witnessing what was going on outside despite being trapped in the recesses of her own mind. It's too much. What are you saying, girl? Komei said to her. We will find a way to escape. Have you already given up? I'm disappointed. How are we gonna escape? She yelled at him. How long have we been stuck here? Been used, beaten, breaking over and over again? I've had to kill. So many for what? Games? Tests? He knew that she was never a big fan of just killing for no reason. Despite all she's been through, yes, she killed, but not for no reason at all. She's been used on several missions. Yes, the one that was controlling her has sent her out several times. Because of her skills off, well, Fu had a special technique that allowed her to blind her opponent and also disable their senses. And not to mention she could fly. In the past few months that she's been here, after her training, Fu was used to do some horrendous things. Slaughter innocent people to get things to make sure that Konoha gets stronger. And she couldn't do it anymore. Komei looked down towards the girl as his wings flap, blowing away her tears. We will find a way. And we will reunite you to your conscious mind out there. And find a way to escape this place. They will just come after me. It was just like Shibuki said. I know everyone in the village, majority of them don't like me, but going back there would just cause nothing but chaos. And Shibuki, he will die as well. This man, he's pure evil, and he will do whatever it takes to get his weapon. He said that to my face already. So there's no point of me fighting, because if I do, I'll just cause more chaos wherever I go. It doesn't matter, she said, lowering her head, as she didn't see any point of going on anymore. How could she? What was she going on for? She just did not know. Meanwhile that was going on, Mito was sitting down with Gara. I have to say, I was rather surprised that you wanted to go and get lunch. They have done this before on several occasions. But given with everything going on, I'm surprised. So what's up, she said. What do you want to talk about? Gara was not looking at her, as he seems nervous. A small tint of red came on her cheeks as she turned her head away. The thing was, Sasuke and the others were right. Mito had a small thing for Gara. However, in certain situations she can be really shy, despite being really outspoken in most. So, she said, what do you want to talk about? Mito, he said to her, we've known each other for a long time now. You were there to help me move on with my life as I started over when I didn't really know anyone or have anything. And you were kind to me, said Gara. And he looked down. She reached out and placed a hand on top of his. He looked up to her face that was red, like her hair, as it looked like it was about to explode. Go on, she said. He nodded his head. The both of them find it hard to do this. Well, the others told me to go ahead, so I will say this now. I care for you more than normal, he said. You care for me? You mean you like me? Gara nodded his head. Yes. And I was hoping that if you're not too busy, that we could do something sometime, said Gara. And we could As Mito started to laugh. For a moment there, Gara thought that she was laughing at him, but that was not the case. She was just laughing with humor. "What's so funny?" he said. She breathed a sigh of relief. "Your awkwardness." "It allowed me to realize how silly I'm being," she said. "I'm not one to be so shy about anything," she said, slapping herself in the face really hard, causing her cheek to be a bit red. As Gara raised the eyebrow. "That's much better," she said. "Well, that was weird," said Gara. "Well, at least it helped me to recover. And I'll do the same to you, whack!" She slapped him across the face. As Gara eye blinked, looking back at her. "See? Now it doesn't feel so awkward, does it?" "You know, you're correct," he said to her. "Yeah. So, well, if you want to do something, I wouldn't mind," she said. "Like, go out on a date?" He nodded his head without saying a word. "Well, that should be fun," she said. "So yeah, we can do it." "Really?" said Gara. "Yeah," she said. I wouldn't mind." Gara felt like jumping up and dancing at the moment, but he was not one to do something like that, so he would not. Time skip. A few weeks later. A lot has happened in these few weeks. Message has been sent from the other nations back to the Hidden Stone. Something was being planned. Preparations had to be made first. And message was sent to the Hokage as well. Hiruzen just got a visit from the San liaison that been Baki to deliver the monthly update on the village of Hidden San. Not to mention the monthly mission intake as well. Hiruzen knew that this was, well, something that he would normally do, but in order to make sure the Hidden Leaf survive, he will do whatever it takes. He lost so much already, and he was not in the mood of losing anything else, as Baki had left shortly after. However, there was a reason why Baki had came to the village other than delivering the report. As Hiruzen read over the letter from Oniki, the rumor and news had gotten out, yes. Everyone was fully aware of the Uzumakis now, making their move, knowing that they had to do something about it. The other nations wanted ideas, they wanted, well, information on what exactly was going on. Majority of them was out of the loop. Hiruzen looked over the file. Several things on his table as he put them to the side, focused on this one letter. It would have a bigger successful rate of finding where the location of the Uzumakis were, if they were clued in as well. Quickly pulling out brush and ink, Hiruzen started to write a letter of his own. He was going to do something that hasn't been done in a long while. Call for a meeting between the other Kages. The four of them, that is. The San was no longer in the picture, they were not important in the moment they were under Konoha leadership. As Hiruzen wrote, he failed to notice something on top of his head. Yes, something that had completely merged with anything that he touched, and that now merged with his hat completely. Gathering all information, the thing quickly moved away from the office, not before splitting itself into two though, undetected. It was small, so small that it was barely noticeable by the naked eye, and given its ability to completely merge itself with anything, it would be immensely hard to notice. You had to be immensely special to notice the thing. It did not take long for it to start to multiply. It couldn't split its body so much, four of them in total. The thing moved through the village until it came upon one individual that felt empty. That being a root ninja in disguise, it attached itself to this individual. What that thing was an artificial being created by the remnants of the Uzumakis. Fuinjutsu was such a powerful art, able to do wonderful things that would make you gawk in shock, and this was one of their creations. The thing waited until the root ninja disguise returned back to its base, which was the worst idea it could ever make. Once down in the base, the thing started to scour the place, trying to gather as much information as possible not be noticed by anyone. It scour and scour until it break lock. Arriving down, the body of the sleeping Fu was there, resting from a recent mission that she was sent on to do more horrible things. To return with someone that didn't want to return, basically kidnap them. Fu was asleep until the thing jumped, right on her body and slowly searched for her seal. Once her seal was located, the thing laid itself flat. As you could see that it was an insect, a strange beetle-like creature, yet it was undetectable. And the moment it was on Fu's stomach, it unfurled into a paper that just vanished into a seal, like it was never there. Meanwhile, once again the girl was alone. This time she wasn't crying though. Her eyes just wandered out into the distance. Her mindscape was a big open empty field, with bugs flying around. Unaware of her certain little friend on her now, Fu just lay there looking out into the distance until a shadow loomed over her. Immediately, Konoha flew down, shocked that someone was able to get to this space, even though he personally blocked it off from anyone to enter. The person looked up towards Konoha though as a gigantic, bug-like creature froze. "What's going on? Who are you?" said Fu, getting up to her feet, thinking that the man had somehow breached into here. Now she knew that it was over. She was discovered. "I mean you no harm." As Fu narrowed her eyes toward this individual he had read here, his eyes were on display. She's never seen eyes like that before. "Who are you? Those eyes, why do you possess them?" "You recognize these?" "Yes, but not in this state." "What exactly are you?" "I'm merely human. There's nothing to worry about." As Konoha looked over him, not sure if he could believe this thing, this power, it felt so unhuman-like. "Fu, you know me?" said Fu. "Yes. I've searched for you for some time now." "You have? Who are you? Are you here to save me?" she said, hoping that that was the case. "But wait, why?" Fu found it hard to judge people because, well, leading to her trusting people had put her through a lot, so she didn't understand how could someone she never met know her and was here to save her. "Well, there's a lot that you should know. However, I'm here to give you an offer. I'm here to give you sanctuary from this hell that you're currently in," said Naruto. She narrowed her gaze at that. Time skip. Naruto stood in front of a man. He looked to be in his early 50s, but he was much older though. It was the Uzumaki genes. His name was Choco. At the moment they're only able to split themselves into 4 pieces, but the operation was a success, yes? "Yes," said Naruto. "It was not detected as you said." Choco was the leading scientist of this place. He had a quite big brain on him. He was able to invent and make things. Some things that he made were not really usable. They were just, well, for show, but things like these. "Tell me, what about the recent prototype that you've been working on?" said Naruto. "Ah, that. I'm so close to completing it. However, to empower it, we need..." "Don't worry," said Naruto. "I already have that covered." Well, I wasn't really worried, but still. It would draw quite a lot from you, and I hate to see you do this by yourself. "At least allow the others know," said Naruto. "I've told you once before, I will be doing this." The man sighed. "You know that we're just worried about you, correct?" "Yes, but I told you, my friend," said Naruto, placed an hand on his shoulder. "I'll be the one doing this." "Okay, Naruto-sama," he said. "Once the prototype is finished, I will inform you." As Naruto nodded, he had the man working on something big. Yes, something very big. After all, Naruto had plans. Plans that he would need many more help to accomplish if he was gonna, well, change his entire world. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Leaf. So a meeting between all the Kages, huh? Said Danzo as he sat in the chair in front of Harrison. Well, at least this will allow us to get more information out there. It has been 3 long years and Jiraiya has been proven to be utterly useless. He's trying his best. Harrison said, Fine, I mean no real offense, but still. This is getting to me and you as well. This person has been able to delude us and escape us. This person has been able to mark you and mark this village as well, showing that there was nothing that we can do to stop him at the time. The village of the Hidden Leaf has always been the most powerful. We cannot show such weakness. Sooner or later the other nations will also think that is a chance for them to move in as well. They all know the threat, Harrison said. I doubt they will make a move right now. They're all in trouble as well. Tch. Stop being naive, Harrison. You and I both know that. Those people out there will do whatever it takes to get up on top. They all know still that Konoha is in charge, being the strongest out of all. And with our recent control over the sand, there has been a lot of hate. No one has spoke out openly about this yet. But you and I both know that it will be brought up at the meeting. It's up to you to curve this information away from them and keep everything in our favor. I have plans, Harrison said. There's nothing to worry about. All we need is more eyes and ears out there. I feel it in my bones. Sooner or later he will strike. Sooner or later this village will come up against his attack, and we have to be ready. He turned his gaze towards Danzo. Is everything ready on your end? I need more time. Harrison slammed his hand on Dex. What do you mean more time? He said. I'm still working on something, Danzo said, keeping himself calm. However, trust me, it will be done by the time everything is ready. I assure you. As Harrison could only sigh. Time skip. 2 rather powerful men was currently sitting down, looking towards one another. There has still been no news about this assailant. The tailed beasts have been going missing. The recent information from Zetsu that the 4 and 5 tails was taken. The word from the Hidden Stone was that the Uchiha was amongst them. That means he was able to pull the Uchiha to his cause as well as another Red Hair Kunoichi. We believe it's a 9-tail holder. So, this leader is also making a break for all of them as well. I wonder, does he see the same thing as we? The masked man said towards a man with orange hair with piercing across his face. That we do not know. At first we thought they were nothing but a mercenary group, but we were wrong. That is why I would like to make contact with them. Contact? Yes. If we're after the same goal, I believe we can use each other to get what we want. Or we can just use them. Well, I've heard that this person is quite ruthless. I don't believe that he will listen in your favor at all. If he does not, I will make him. We already have everything ready for the Akatsuki to make our move. The tail beasts shall be ours, not his. So then if it comes to it, it will have to be group against group, the masked man said, fighting for the kill. After all, the beasts cannot be shared. And we still have no idea what this person has in store for the tail beasts and the power that he will use it for. As the men across from him remain neutral, have Zetsu turn his efforts, drop everything else and focus everything on the Crimson Reapers. Sorcery as well. We need to find out exactly what do they want. There's a good chance that Itachi is no longer with us. Even if he is, he's betrayed us. And given the recent sighting of the Uchiha, I believe that he has something to do with his older brother. So have Zetsu take all of his attention off what he's currently doing and focus on this one task. I would like to speak to this leader face to face. Well then, That is something I desire as well. After all, I too want to know, what are they after? I will be in touch. With that, he sucked himself away in a swirling vortex. The moment that he was gone, it showed that someone else was in there, a woman. Blue hair. It was none other than Conan. As she looked towards Pain, he knows. I don't know, Pain said. The rumors are going around a lot. Majority of the people believe that this is the rise of the one since extinct Uzumaki clan. And if that is the case, they mean nothing to me. I was never raised or grew in that clan. I was raised in the hardship of this world, yes. All of their members are wiped out. Even if a few raise their heads, it doesn't mean that we have any connection. What about the rumors of him possessing an all-seeing eye that possess undescribable power? I will have to see that for myself. Until now, we will have to wait. But soon I will meet this leader face to face and see what he truly desires. If he's against what I seek, all that lie in the future for him is death. With that, he walked away as Conan watched him. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.